It has finally come full circle. In 2022, I talk about my plans to move and semi-retire in Malaysia, and that is still my most viewed video till date. Then in 2023, when I announced my departure from Singapore to move to Malaysia, that has also been a hit. So now, I finally come to the last leg of the video, which is in 2024, because I am finally returning to Singapore from Malaysia. Now, just to give a quick update on the Singapore dollars to Malaysian ringgit exchange rate, right now it's hovering around 3.2 something. But I remember last year when I left Singapore for Malaysia in September 2023, the exchange rate was around 3.4-ish. So now, Singapore dollars have deteriorated against Malaysian ringgit. Is that my reason to return to Singapore? Definitely not lah. I mean, if you take a look at the video that I made in 2022, right? Back then, the exchange rate was 3.2 something or so. So right now, 2024 exchange rate is almost equivalent to 2022's exchange rate. There is really no significant changes in terms of the way you will live and spend in Malaysian ringgit. So that is not the big reason. Now, what is then the big reason? I think I need to provide some background context, especially if you are new to the channel and this is the first video you are viewing from my channel. Then you can join over 17,000 members interested in personal finance, building their wealth, semi-retirement, credit cards, CPF and all that in the Honey Money SG Telegram group for free. So click on this link. Now for the context, I'm 100% Singaporean, so I'm only staying temporarily in Malaysia. And this has always been the plan. It's never about permanently stationing myself in Malaysia. And the main reason is because for Singaporeans who want to buy public housing, or we call that the HDB flat, especially if we bought the BTO flat called built to order, which means that we pre-order the flat from the government board, we will need to have a waiting time for the building to construct. And for my case, it was 5 years, which meant that my housing will only be completed in the year of 2024. And I started making plans since 2022 to talk about my shift and move to temporarily in Malaysia. So now 2024 has come and my flat has been completed. So this is my main reason to move back to Singapore. But let's talk about what are the initial reasons that make me left Singapore, right? I know that cost has always been a huge concern, especially if you are living in Singapore. You will realize that housing prices are getting insane. And what does housing prices translate to? Rent. Especially if you want to stay by yourself and have more freedom, you want to rent a room outside, that will cost like at least 1,000 Singapore dollars upwards for a common room. And I haven't even factored in all the inflation that is caused by either COVID, supply chain issues, war issues, that is really raising the cost of living that you will have in Singapore. Not that you can't enjoy a good life, but the same money can only enjoy a mediocre level of life. So in order to use the same amount of Singapore dollars to enjoy a better life, I think it is a good option to move to Malaysia and enjoy the lower cost of living. Now, to be clear, I have nothing against Singapore cost of living because I know that everyone has to bear some cost in one way or another. But here's the thing, right? I have the freedom and option to choose where I want to spend my money on. And if I were to spend the same Singapore dollars currency amount, would I rather spend it in Malaysia or Singapore? I guess the answer is quite clear in terms of numerical sense. In Singapore, with 1,000 Singapore dollars a month, you can only enjoy a very basic level of living just for sustenance. But if you take the 1,000 Singapore dollars and convert to Malaysian ringgit and you stay in Malaysia, you could probably live much better. But I agree that money is not always the determining factor. I guess the other factor is space. And in space, that comes with privacy as well. You see, in Singapore, we are definitely a very small nation. You see, the houses we live in cannot be compared to what you have in Malaysia, right? Malaysia has so much more land, so many more cities, and people can really roam around to another city to travel, to sightsee, or even do like their own staycations locally. In Singapore, where can you go? Punggol to Jurong, then Sentosa, then Pulau Ubin, that's about it. So if you want to enjoy a higher sense of space, and you want to drive around, you want to explore other suburbs other than KL, Penang and JB or Malacca, then maybe coming to Malaysia, you can enjoy some of these smaller towns that has a much more chill and relaxed vibe. And back in Singapore, maybe some of you are mostly staying with parents, which also meant that there is less privacy if you want to start a family with your partner, with your wife. Are you going to stay with your own parents and have some in-laws, these arguments? I think these are all things that you have to factor in. And number three is, of course, the people. I guess Malaysians are really a very good bunch of people. You see, a lot of them are really very chill, and even though they may not have as high income as Singaporeans, but they generally live a quite happy life. And at least in the suburban area where I am living in, The people are more genuine, like they are really locals. They are not like foreign or migrant workers coming here to make a living. Whereas in Singapore, most of the service crew and the staff that you see are mostly foreigners already. And that's because Singaporeans don't want to do those jobs, it's natural. Which also brings me to the point of population density. So in a suburban area, there is much less population over a wide area. People are less tense up lah. People are more generally more opening. Very humble living people lah. They could do with very little income and still live a good life. And they don't really like chase or compare salary, compare income, compare your status. They don't really care. As long as you're living an okay life, you don't need to be the richest person in the city. So these are some good parts about living in Malaysia, right? But let's talk about what are some things that I miss in Singapore. Number one is of course efficiency. Now, you see, Singapore is well known for its fast-paced environment and efficiency. You can get a lot of things settled within the day. And because the space is so small, the nation is quite packed, you can do a lot of things within one area. Even if you take public transport, all of this can be settled within a day or two. Like I could settle 3 errands within a lunch trip, Eat my lunch, go and buy some grocery, get a haircut. All can be done within one trip. But in Malaysia, because of the land space, right, all these shops are spread far apart. It's not likely you can walk from one to another unless you are in the city center. You have to drive from one point to another, and that means you also have to look for parking. So efficiency is definitely something that I miss in Singapore, that you can do all in one rather than traveling here and there. But I guess that's the price to pay for efficiency versus space. Number 2 thing that I miss in Singapore, which is the walkway and infrastructure. At least in the suburban area, Malaysia really has no visible walkways or pathways for pedestrians to walk on. And don't even think me mention shelter walkways. You got walkway already very good, still want shelter. That is only exists in Singapore. In Singapore, some of these roads, I don't think anybody walk, but still got shelter one. Singapore government really take care of its citizens one. Make sure there's proper walkway and sometimes help you segregate bicycle lane and walkway lane. And it's a very distinct path apart from the vehicle road. In Malaysia, most of the times you have to walk on the vehicle road. Not to mention the safety. And the matter of fact is, I cannot clock my steps as effectively in Malaysia because firstly, you have to drive around, right? Secondly, there's no walkway, so my step count is really very little. And I can show you. Now you see, this is one of the only few walkways where I could really walk in peace. No cars, no motorcycles, no dogs barking at me. And this is a gated and guarded estate. I don't really live here, I just live nearby. But you see, that's the beauty of walking around in Singapore, right? You have fully sheltered walkways with very safe pathways for you to walk. But that's not the case in Malaysia. So really, when I'm back in Singapore, I'm just going to do more walking and appreciate the infrastructure that Singapore has for us. And look at all these very nice semi-D houses. Actually, they are not that expensive compared to what they have in JB. But it's too late. The prices have already inflated like more than 50% since they were built. Number 3 thing that I miss in Singapore is mosquito-free. I don't know how Singapore makes it so clean that we rarely have mosquitoes nowadays. And even if we do, we have like a dengue fever area. The government will put like the red alert, this zone. And then they will do like extra cleaning, extra sanitation, extra filming, and make sure the mosquito really die. Like in Singapore, I never suffered from any mosquito injury before. But in Malaysia, it's like very common because the sanitary may not be so good, the drainage may be choked, and then the mosquito breed in these ponds, which is a very common thing outside of Singapore in common nations. I just don't know how Singapore keep it so clean, And the number 4 thing that I miss in Singapore is definitely the connections and events. You see, having me based in Malaysia, I have a lot of excuse to not attend events, but that also means that I also cannot attend some events that I really want to attend because I have to make the trip down. And I know that this is a first world problem So for those of you partners, clients, or whoever that I'm meeting in Singapore, I really have to make the trip down So that means I really treasure you a lot. But let's address the main question of why am I able to move to Malaysia, right? And that's fundamentally because of the reason that I could work remote. I could work digitally. I could deliver my products online. Especially on this YouTube channel, I work with several financial institutions as well as banks and reward partners. And one of them is the sponsor of today. As a beginner who is starting to invest, here is why you should choose Webull as your trading platform. Number 1, wide range of markets. You can trade and invest in Singapore, US or Hong Kong, China markets, giving you a wide range of options and diversity. Number 2, low commissions. You can trade US stocks and ETFs from just 50 US cents per order with 0 platform fees during both regular and extended hours. For Hong Kong and Singapore stocks and ETFs, they also have one of the most competitive pricing as well. And number 3, no foreign exchange fees. Webull does not charge any currency exchange or conversion fees, again lowering your cost of investing. Furthermore, new to Weibo users can get all these welcome promo rewards. For Moneyboo, when you fund $2,000 you will get a 1.83% interest booster for 30 days, which could generate a return of up to $345 on a $60,000 Moneyboo subscription after 30 days. For Fund and Trade promo, fund a minimum of $2,000 by 29th November 2024, 15:59 Singapore time. Complete 3 US buy trades within 30 days from the first deposit and maintain until 31st December 2024. You will get a $60 cash voucher. If you fund a minimum of $10,000 by 29th November 2024, 15:59 SG time, complete 5 US buy trades within 30 days from the first deposit and maintain until 31st January 2025, you will get a $350 cash voucher. There is an options trading promo for both new and existing users where if you trade a minimum of 100 US options contracts monthly, the fees will be reimbursed when you fulfill the criteria. Also, Weibo does not charge any platform fees for US trades. Start trading with Weibo by using my exclusive link or scan the QR code right here to get your Weibo account today. So if you are able to work remote, generate an income by delivering a service online, I think you have a very good option. But I come to realize that some people in Singapore are very bitter and sour about this. Usually, they will label those people who move away from Singapore to achieve a better life to become quitters, right? In the comment section, they will say that you can't even handle life in Singapore. How are you going to handle life abroad? Okay, I get a lot of these comments because whenever I mention that how life is better in Malaysia, then there will be a lot of dislike already. Like a lot of Singaporeans really live by that Singapore is the best country. Yes, I still believe Singapore is a very good country, but are there instances that other cities or nations do better than Singapore in some aspects? Also, yes, I think having lived more than 1 year in Malaysia made me learn to appreciate Singapore more. Like the things that Singapore do really well in, the points that I mentioned earlier, I learned to really appreciate what Singapore has done for its people, rather than complaining and bickering about the everyday Singaporean issues. At the same time, living abroad has also helped me understand better about another country in Malaysia. Like you are living as a minority race, so you better be sure of what you want to do and what you want to say, because there will be consequences. Unlike in Singapore, there's much more liberal and freedom in terms of the race and religious issues. So what is next on my plan? I guess coming back to Singapore is really to settle my own HDB flat first. I need to settle the renovation, which means a lot of money needs to be spent. And I will continue to discuss on the best payment strategies, especially how you should finance your flat, how you should finance your renovation. And it's a huge decision-making process, which I will do up some series of video to show you how do I come up with the process to make my decision on how to pay and what to pay with. So there will be a following home series on renovation, as well as some CPF, cash and credit card discussions on adulting. I guess that's what many people are really tuning in for. Like they need someone to guide them on making the best decision. I wouldn't say I'm the best decision maker, but I'll show you my reasoning behind it to help. So some reflections about my 1 year life. This is probably my last video recorded in Malaysia, unless I come back for a certain period and bring my camera and recording setup. But I guess thank you to Malaysia. I think you have treated me very well in terms of the people, the places, the country and whatever it offers. And to put it clear, in my 1 year life of living in Malaysia, I have never once felt unsafe or faced any kind of cultural or racism. So whatever rumors or news that you hear online happen to a very small group of people who are really unfortunate. And I'm lucky to be fortunate not to be this group of people. Advice for other visitors coming to Malaysia: firstly, stay low profile. Don't dress like you are some rich Singaporean or whatever. And don't bring your Singaporean habits or wherever you are from to Malaysia, because when you are in other country, go and respect their rules. Live like the local people, speak their language, and blend in. Don't everything say cheap. I really hate Singaporeans who come here every day say cheap one. Luckily, the place I'm living in are not filled with Singaporeans like JB. Always respect other people's culture and race and whatever the government is doing for them. You are not living in their shoes. You will not understand how they feel. So you just live your own life and mind your own business lah. So that will conclude my 3-year Malaysia series. 2022 was the plan, 2023 was the execution, and 2024 was the return. Onwards to my next chapter on building a home in Singapore. And if you really want to know what are 5 things that I realized after living in Malaysia for a few months back then I can show you my reflections on the video right here.